What's up, guys? Hope you guys are doing well. Welcome to another trade recap. Today, I ended up taking one trade. It was break even, which is unfortunate because I got edged by my final TP or by my one and only TP, and then it instantly just reversed on me and it stopped me out of break even. But it is what it is. I ended off this week green. I ended off May green despite the tough price action, which is awesome. I felt like I learned a lot this month. And yeah, I'll go into essentially what my bias was going into the day, why I took the trade I took, and all that fun jazz. So going into the day, I was more leaning more bearish, and the reason for that is we had this giant BPR and inverse fair value gap from yesterday, and then we put in a CISD, and then we also had this breaker. So just a lot of strong bearish order flow in the 4 hour here. And I think we also had inverse this 4 hour gap. Yeah, we inversed this 4 hour gap overnight as well. So everything was really telling me that we wanted to take out, this low right here inside this 4 hour gap. However, on the daily, we were inside of this daily gap. So it's kind of awkward. And I think that's kind of why price action was really choppy today, was because we were inside a daily gap with like there was like a sell model on the 4 hour, but we were going into a daily gap, so it kind of made sense for price to stall. So going into the opening here, I wanted to see this low get swept because this was a data low that was made from, I believe this was like a Trump tariff tweet at 8 in the morning. So I wanted to see this low get taken and a continuation lower to this other low. This is the 4 hour low right here. And as long as this 15-minute gap held, I was going to lean more bearish. And if we inverse this 15-minute gap, then I would expect for price to come up here and sweep all of these highs to the left, bounce into this 15-minute gap, and then continue lower, right? And if we stayed within this 15-minute gap and we got like a really strong inverse to the downside, then I would just think that we're going to go for these lows, and then these highs would just become the drawn liquidity later after taking sell side. So here's open. So at open, we actually got this inverse. I didn't take it. It was really clean. I would have taken it if the candle close that created the inverse didn't sweep this internal low right here. One, because the way I trade using Dodgy's model is when an inverse is created and it sweeps an internal low, that would be your break even. So I couldn't go break even on this trade. I would have to wait until this next internal low, and I didn't want to take the trade as well because there was also this 5 minute gap. So then I waited for this 5 minute gap to close below, and that's when I entered in. And there's also some other really nice confluence here. There was this order cock or change in the state of delivery, and then we also had a breaker block right here. So just a lot of bearish delivery as well as respecting a 15-minute gap. So yeah, I hopped in here and I was like, there's literally no way that if we're doing all of this, there's no way this low shouldn't be swept. And unfortunately, it came down here. I went break even when we swept this internal low right here. And it edged me by like 10 points on the TP, and then it went back and I got stopped out at break even. It is what it is, right? And I think the reason why, after reflecting on this, is I actually think this was a protected low. You guys don't know what a protected low is. It's when it's a low that sweeps another low inside of a fair value gap, and vice versa for highs. So a high that sweeps a high inside of a fair value gap is also considered a protected high. And the reason why it's called protected is it just means that price is unlikely to come back and sweep that liquidity pool because it's essentially targeting manipulation, right? And if you look here on the daily and you highlight the daily fair value gap and then you go on the 4 hour, you can see that this is a low that sweeps another low that sweeps another low. So this is like double manipulation. It's very rare for price to just manipulate a low even more than once, right? And we did this like 4 times. Like this low here. Well, this low is actually not inside the daily gap, so I won't count it. So this low gets manipulated by this low, and then this low gets manipulated by this low. It's very rare that you see something like this happen rather than this, right? And then it comes back down and sweeps these lows after taking buy side, right? And I didn't know that the low I was targeting was a protected low, or else I probably wouldn't have taken the trade, and I would have just waited for potentially a long setup, or just not taking a trade at all because the price action is really bad today, right? So that's probably why the trade I took was a break even and it never, took out the final target. And then after finding out that, the low that I was targeting as my drawn liquidity was a protected low and we were holding this daily gap, I was open to potentially taking a long and targeting this 15-minute gap up here as the next drawn liquidity, and then all of these as minor buy side that I could TP at. And I'm pretty sure this also aligns really well with 50% on the fib. Yeah, it aligns really well. So this lines up really well with the 50%. So that's what I was thinking after taking that break even trade, and I was eyeing the 15-minute gap that I was basing my short-term bias off. This one right here. And I was thinking to myself, okay, if we get a strong close above this, then I don't mind taking a long off that here and setting the stop like right here, and then just targeting probably this high as the final TP, right? Obviously, that never triggered. It literally closed by like a tick under, right? And at that point, I was like, this price action's really bad. I'm just gonna step away for the day. And I'm just gonna end off the week green and I'm gonna end off the month green. And yeah, other than that, that's really it. May was pretty tough. I'm looking forward to next month, next week. Next week looks really good in terms of the economic calendar. So price action should hopefully be a lot better than this week. May's price action was really tough compared to April. April was really good, and I was a lot worse in April. Like this month, I feel like I think I've gotten really a lot better in terms of reading price action and just taking higher probability trades. So yeah. Other than that, guys, hope you guys have a blessed rest of your Friday and your weekend, and I'll see you in the next video, maybe Monday if I take a trade. If I don't take a trade on Monday, I'll see you probably on Tuesday. But yeah, other than that, see ya.